Brown Bears Sports Network. From Learfield, this is the Brown Bears Football Report with head coach James Perry. Brought to you by BSN Sports. Coca-Cola, there's magic when we cheer together. Courtyard Marriott, Providence Downtown. And by University Orthopedics. This is the Brown Bears Football Report with head coach James Perry. Now, here is your host, Scott Cordischi.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Brown Bears Football Report with head football coach James Perry. I'm your host, Scott Cordischi. Glad you could join us. Tonight, we are broadcasting live from Track 15 in downtown Providence at One Union Station. Track 15 is the destination for food, drinks, and culture in Providence. 7 unique culinary concepts from renowned Rhode Island chefs, a full bar, and plenty of parking. Visit track15ri.com for info. And with that, let's say hello to my color analyst for Brown Football on ESPN Plus and the Learfield Varsity Network, John Anderson. John, how are you?
Good, Scott. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for joining us here at Track 15. And let's say hello to the head coach of the Bears, James Perry. Coach, how are you tonight?
Doing great, Scott. Hi, John. Hey, Coach.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us here at Track 15. Kind of a cool spot. My first time down here. My son's been here with his buddies. He told me it's pretty cool, and I would tend to agree after spending the last hour or so here. But, Coach Perry, let's get right into it. The Governor's Cup. Last Friday at Centerville Bank Stadium. We were all excited about it, new venue, just a new energy for the game because it was being played at Centerville Bank, home of Rhode Island Football Club. And, boy, it did not disappoint. The game itself was terrific, and we'll get to the highlights in a moment. But let's just talk about the atmosphere and the great stadium and the great venue that was for your game.
Yeah, it really was, and they were very hospitable. You talk about a different sport, different lines, putting up the field goal posts. There's a lot that goes into it, and then on our end, just the logistics to make that happen. I was very appreciative, and the kids were too. And the end product was be able to play a game at night. Beautiful crowd, beautiful stadium. So a lot of fun and a lot went into it. So big thanks to everyone who made it happen.
And, Coach, we have a Sunoco sign. So Scott and I get to look at the Sunoco sign out there. Boston's got Zitco, we got Sunoco.
Yeah, that's right. I'll tell you, I don't know, John, what the feedback was that you got, but like my wife went with a friend of hers and she said, wow, this is awesome. She said, I just love this stadium. She wants to go to any event there now because it's just, with the concourses and the different places you can go to get food and beverage and stuff like that, and just the setting right along the Seekonk River, everything about it was nice.
Oh, yeah, and I think from a kid perspective, because it's enclosed and relatively tight, people feel right on top of you, and, the fact that it's at night was really a special thing. So, and I thought the kids responded really well to the energy and played very well, too.
Well, Coach, let's go over some of the highlights in the game, and your team came out focused and ready to play. You won the opening coin toss. You deferred your choice to receive the ball to the second half, so you put Rhode Island on offense for the first time to start the game, and your defense would come up with a big play early.
Farrell with 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Takes the snap, back to pass. Blitz is on. Farrell gets hit as he gets rid of it. It's intercepted. Archie picks it off, and he's going to be tackled around the 10-yard line of Rhode Island.
And, again, great pressure put on the quarterback by your defensive front, and that allowed Elias Archie to make an early pick.
Yeah, and actually Tommy made both times he hit the quarterback on interceptions, and to come out the gate that way against a very, very strong offensive line and a terrific quarterback, we knew Devin was a hell of a player, and Elias just was incredible all day.
Coach,
played so well.
Just one thing for me. How did you keep the team at an even keel? The hype of Friday night, that momentum, sometimes you can lose yourself in that moment. How were you able to keep those guys in that kind of that confident calm?
Yeah, and I think on a Friday night, especially, short week of practice, really impressive what the kids did. We have terrific leadership. Elias is a terrific player, but he's actually a great leader, too. He's a quiet kid. But I think you need to lean on those guys, John, in that setting to take the preparation that they've worked so hard to do and capitalize it on game day. So, yeah, we leaned into those older guys, and they delivered.
You know, Coach, one of the signs of a great team and a great game is when you come up with big plays like the 4 turnovers your defense forced, but then what does the offense do after those turnovers? And time again in this game Friday night, your offense responded in a big way. After the Archie turnover, interception deep in Rhode Island territory, the Bears would find the end zone. Matt Childs for the first of his 2 touchdowns.
Second down, goal to go for the Bears at the Rhode Island's 6-yard line. Murphy gives it to Childs again, running to the left, bouncing to the outside, into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears.
Child does a nice job of bouncing that one to the outside, but the Bears do what they're supposed to do here. They take a turnover and they turn it into 6 points.
Coach, how big is that, right? I mean, you take a turnover, you turn it into a touchdown.
And John knows how big those guys up front and how hard they're working. You know, we knew their defensive line was tremendous, and I'm sure are going to be tremendous all year. And for us to be able to run the ball twice from the 10, and, you know, Matt did make a nice run and stiff arm on that particular run, but for us to control the line of scrimmage and do well up front was a great credit to that group up front. And that kind of settles everybody down when the guys are up front are grinding like that.
And I felt like every time your team was challenged, too, like Rhode Island would respond, they would score a touchdown, and your offense had the response every time. So Rhode Island ties the game at 7, and then the Bears would mount a nice drive and score and take the lead again. This time it was James Murphy to tie Pezza.
Third down and 2 for the Bears. Snap to Murphy. Looking right, going for it all for Pezza. It is caught. Touchdown, Bears.
Great catch by Pezza right there in the corner. He comes up over the top of the cornerback. Great throw by Murphy. Brown Bears a very successful drive.
Coach, I mean, 15 plays, 75 yards, 7 minutes, 11 seconds. I know quick strikes are nice, but drives like that are really what coaches want.
Yeah, and impressive by Ty to cap that off. He's a Rhode Island guy who I know the game meant a lot to him. And someone who, you know, that's awesome to see him make a spectacular play.
Yep.
They put him on TV for it and all, but he does all the little things. He blocks very well. He, you know, plays special teams very well. He's just a true brown bear. So it was fun to see him have a terrific game as a Rhode Islander.
Coach, how did you deal with your quarterback? He had a great game in the first game. He was off up at Harvard, maybe hyped up. You know what I'm saying? Big time, you know, Harvard night. And now he came out under the lights and really had a fantastic game. You know, one of his great throws right there. What did you take him through that week to keep him, you know, as a first-year starter that you didn't lose him?
Well, yeah, and he's such a smart kid, you know. So, you know, what you want to do is turn the page as quickly as you can. And he gets great instruction from Mitch Jonke, and I think for me to watch that relationship and watch, you know, how that expresses itself was really on full display this week. You know, we knew it was a short week. We knew how good Rhode Island was. We need James to play well, right? So watching those two work together and watching James just approach it just even-keeled. And he really is. I mean, he's the captain of the team, so when we need emotion, he has it. But he's a really even-keeled kid, so I was not surprised to see him play well.
So after the Bears took a 14-7 lead, the Rams themselves would respond, and they would tie it at 14 apiece. But again, Brown had an answer. They would mount another scoring drive, and they would cap it off with Matt Childs' second touchdown of the night.
First and goal, handoff to Childs, up the middle, into the end zone. He reaches, touchdown, Bears.
That was all Child's second effort right there up the right-hand side. He just gets up behind the tackles there and just drives his legs to the end zone.
And so the Bears once again take the lead, and they are a point after away from being up by 7 for a third time tonight.
I mean, you never let Rhode Island take really any momentum in that game. Every time they did something, you guys had an answer.
Yeah, and I think same thing, you know, to circle back to up front on both sides of the ball. So, you know, Buchanan's the best wide receiver in the country, probably, right? You know, like I mentioned last week, maybe the guy from Penn, but Richardson. But,
yep.
You know, you're talking about a really, really elite guy, and we needed good coverage. And then on offense, we need Ty Pezza to make some plays. But really, I was I was proud of both offense and defensive lines. And they fought so hard and so well, and we'll need them to keep doing that. But the game was really won in that way, Scott.
And I think you guys did very well on third down on defense.
Yeah, first thing you got to do is create those third downs, though, John. Right? So you got to put them in those positions, and I think the kids were really fighting up front to create some favorable third downs, and then to watch guys like Elias and Miles deliver when we've created those third downs. A lot of fun.
So, John, I'm glad you brought up third down because, Coach, I thought on the other side of the football, offensively, you guys did a real good job of getting ahead of the chains on first and second down, putting yourself in third down in manageable situations. That wasn't the case the week before at Harvard. We kind of got behind the chains a little bit. I thought Friday night against Rhode Island, you guys had some success on first and second down to give yourselves very manageable third downs.
Yeah, and it's so critical, and it'll be very critical this week. We know the type of pass rush we're up against on Friday night of this week as well. So, yeah, you just can't let A.J. tee off on you. So, good luck if you do. But to the kids' credit, we worked hard, very, very well up front, and put ourselves in good positions. And then James delivered when he needed to. Some of the guys on the perimeter were able to deliver when they needed to as well.
So 21-14 was the score at the time. The Bears would take that 7-point lead into halftime. And then in the third quarter, what I felt was the play of the game, and it was, again, Elias Archie. He forced a fumble as the Rams were going in.
2nd down and 13 for the Rams. They have it at the Bears' 33-yard line. Buchanan motions out wide to the right. Fake the handoff, play action pass, firing down the middle. It is caught inside the 5-yard line, fighting his way to the end zone. Did he get in? Gaines? No indication from the officials yet. Gaines thinks he has a touchdown. The officials have not made an indication. And it's a fumble.
And, again, we didn't see it right away in live action. It was tough to see from our vantage point. Then you look at the replay, and Archie punches it out. Coach, that was a gigantic play in the football game.
Yeah, and I think it was a good expression of what the night was about, right? We had tight coverage there. It's not like they, we're running free. We're actually, and Elias is coming off and recovering from a different person.
Yep.
So we're already, it was a heck of a throw and catch by them. We don't give up, and to Elias's credit, he comes in from behind and punches that thing out. And, obviously the rule is if it goes out the end zone, it's our ball.
Coach, you know what I've noticed, and you kind of tipped on it there, is that this defense has been relentless playing to the whistle. Elias Archie, he could have stopped. I'm watching that play. The man is literally at the half goal line. He's just about to reach. He could have pulled up a yard or two beforehand and said, okay, it's a touchdown. I'm done. He didn't. He continued through the play, and obviously a huge turnover. But I noticed it throughout this defense, throughout the whole season so far.
And you need it. In 2025, there's so much space. These guys are so talented. There's so many good players on any football field, including this upcoming Friday, that if you're not swarming, you're done, right? Like, the numbers are going to be big. So, step one, be in position to try to make a play. The kid catches it. Well, when he does, have guys coming from behind like Elias did that on that particular
And again, your team had a huge response. You mount another one of those mammoth drives, an 80-yard drive, took over 7 minutes off the clock, and you turn a 1-touchdown lead into a 2-touchdown lead on this touchdown pass from James Murphy to Solomon Miller.
Murphy rolling right, looking. Now he dumps it off to Solomon Miller into the end zone. Touchdown Bears. What a play by Murphy.
Murphy was patient right there to the outside, did a great job, and Solomon Miller knew where the goal line was when he caught that ball with a nice spin to the inside to cap off a great drive by the Brown Bears.
And just had a few of those drives, man. Those 7-minute, double-digit 15, 16-play drives, 75, 80 yards, and to cap it off with 7, that's as good as it gets offensively.
Yeah, it was fun on that play. John put it well. Solomon, who's a speed demon, right? Like, everybody knows how he can take the top off of coverage. He's going towards the sideline. He purposefully chooses to throw his foot in the ground and kind of take that thing back up the field where he knows he's going to get hit, right? So Solomon's been playing in practice very well, so it was fun to see a senior get in the end zone there.
All right, so 28-14, the Bears had the lead. The Rams would cut it to 28-21, and then they were threatening on one of the final drives of the game late in the fourth quarter to try to tie it up and send it to overtime, and this is what happened.
On 3rd and 10, Farrell takes the snap. Back to pass. Blitz is on. Gets rid of it down the middle. It is intercepted. Picked off on the play. And the Bears are going to win it. Miles Brophy with the game-sealing INT.
And when you win the turnover battle 4-0, Coach, that's they say the scoreboard's obviously the number one stat. Turnovers are number two, right?
Oh man, what a way to end it. Great effort up front. Tommy gets hit on the quarterback,
Yep.
and Miles, who's played really well. I mean, Miles is tackling like an elite safety. He's just a really hard-nosed kid, but fun to see him make that interception. And I don't need a chiropractor this week because I got a hug from Dan Mulrooney.
I was going to ask you about that. I saw the
I
emotion.
wasn't sure if the prop was my ribs or my back. I know I don't. I was like, ooh, I feel nice and loose. That was the hardest hug someone can get at the end of a game from Dan there. But really fun to see Miles do that because, like I said, I mean, he's just been tackling so well. So fun to see him get a pick to finish it.
Coach, what is this? I mean, you've watched a lot of football. You played in a lot of here at Brown. I thought that was really a great win for this program, over your 6 years here. A Governor's Cup. We hadn't beat them in a long, long time, under the lights. What does this all mean for this program as you're stretching forward, especially to these seniors that have been with you for 4 years, like, Archie, he's come a long way, played a lot of games for you. A lot of these kids have. What does that victory mean?
Well, I think the fun thing is, I can say honestly, I think it's my favorite. I put it one in the fear as a coach is be like, oh, how are they going to respond next week? And I can tell you how they responded. They were very hungry to get better. So, I think I put it for me as a coach. I put it one. Maybe it's because I'm a Rhode Islander now and been in the state so long. But regardless, any fear that these guys weren't hungry to get better, I can put to rest. They practiced very, very well. On the heels of it, we know we got great teams ahead of us, but I think it's also okay to really, acknowledge that winning that Governor's Cup was something else.
All right, Coach, from one in-state team to another, from one CAA team to another, the Rhodey game's behind us. Tomorrow night, the Bryant Bulldogs up in Smithfield. What kind of challenge do they present?
Yeah, I mean, they're super physical. They're, they got a ton of talent out there. You turn the film on, you see them play, at New Mexico on the road and almost win that one, and then go on the road. That's two FBS teams straight in a row, and win that one at University of Massachusetts.
Yep.
So, there's no confusion as to, how good they are and how talented they are. So, our guys get that. We love the challenge of it. We love the concept that we're in a stretch with two CAA games in a row, and we look forward to it. And heck, it'll be another Friday night, which will be a lot of energy, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the guys compete.
And this is under their new stadium. Obviously,
Yeah.
they just redid the new stadium, so it's all new press boxes. And
I was saying earlier in the week, I mean, Gilbane put this building in that's insane. I mean, it looks gorgeous. So I'm from Smithfield, but I haven't been up there since it's been done. So that'll be fun to see. It'll be a great atmosphere. It always is. And I'm sure Brown will support the guys on a Friday night. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on the win over Rhodey. Good luck against the Bulldogs, John.
I got one last thing to say. What about the LaSalle Hendricken game? Two major victories on Friday night.
We got a guy here that might want to talk about that. The quarterback for the Rams.
I'll tell you what, it was as fun as it gets. And, I'm so proud of, Sam and his teammates and how hard they've worked, because I know now that I'm a dad what they do all summer and what that means. So Coach Copen and his staff have done an incredible job. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, good night for the Perrys.
Absolutely. And what John is referring to is Coach Perry's son, Sam, is the quarterback for LaSalle. And the big high school football game in this state every year in Rhode Island is LaSalle and Bishop Hendricken. And the Rams ended up knocking off the Hawks in overtime. 21-20, was that the final score, if I'm not mistaken? So a big night for the Perrys. John is right, last Friday night with the Bears win over the Rams and the Rams win over the Hawks. We're going to take a timeout, and when we come back on the Brown Bears Football Report with James Perry, quarterback James Murphy and defensive back Elias Archie will be our guest. You're listening to and watching the Brown Bears Football Report with James Perry from Learfield.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
There's losing, and then there's being the loser. Game time comes with enough pressure. Way too often, people are betting on sports, losing, and taking it out on the athletes. Only a loser would harass college athletes after losing a bet. But it happens almost every day. Root for your team. Get crazy when the buzzer sounds. But don't harass anyone because you lost a bet. It's time we draw the line and put an end to the abuse. Brought to you by the NCAA.
The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes. The NCAA programs deliver $4 billion in scholarships every year. Those D1 scholarships are now guaranteed. Health and well-being services are mandatory. Student athletes get tutoring as well as financial literacy coaching because almost everyone is going pro in something other than sports. The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes.
The economics of healthcare are what they are. There's a lot of pressure applied to patients from the insurers, from the hospitals, about where they should be receiving their healthcare. They're torn in a lot of ways. My response to that is, why wouldn't you come to the place that's going to care for you, look after your best interests, and make sure you get the very, very best in healthcare?
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Beisel. As a 3-time Olympic swimmer, I know how important it is to take care of your health. Here in Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts, we are fortunate to have the team at University Orthopedics taking care of us for all of our orthopedic needs. Whether you are swimming laps or swimming to raise money to cure cancer, their team has you covered. Remember, you don't have to be an Olympic athlete to be cared for like one. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here, University Orthopedics.
Wouldn't it be great to work with a bank that cares about you? A bank that knows you and your family.
How may I help you today?
A bank offering a solution center with real people answering your phone calls. A bank with interactive teller machines, staffed by local personal bankers who are available beyond regular business hours. A bank that speaks your language. That bank is Bay Coast Bank, and we're here to help you. Visit us in person or scan the code to open your account today.
Hey girl. Hey, how are you? Good, how are you? Good, thank you. I'm glad I ran into you. I'm looking to switch banks and I know you're with Bay Coast. How do you like it? Bay Coast has everything I need. I just opened a free checking account. No monthly service fees, no transaction fees. It's great. So is the customer service. Staff members really take the time to understand my personal financial needs. The best part? Bay Coast treats you like family. Isn't that right, Penny? Looks like I'm switching to Bay Coast Bank.
And welcome back to the Brown Bears Football Report with James Perry, broadcasting live tonight from Track 15 here in downtown Providence. Track 15 is the destination for food, drinks, and culture in Providence. 7 unique culinary concepts from renowned Rhode Island chefs. A full bar and plenty of parking. Visit track15ri.com for more information. The Bears coming off a Governor's Cup win over Rhode Island, getting ready to face the Bryant Bulldogs tomorrow night in Smithfield. And we are happy to be joined right now by the quarterback for the Bears, a junior from Reading, Massachusetts, James Murphy. Murph, how are you?
Great, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, thank you for joining us. And to your left and to my right, we have the reigning Ivy League Defensive Player of the Week and New England Gold Helmet Award winner. What a night he had Friday night at Centerville Bank Stadium. A senior defensive back from Cerritos, California, Elias Archie. Elias, how you doing?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Well, congratulations, first of all, on all of the honors you received this week. And I got to tell you something. If somebody ever earned it, You did. I mean, the game that you had, man, forcing turnovers, the interception, but that punch-out fumble with Rhode Island going in, that was, to me, the play of the game.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
So talk to us about, the team's performance Friday night. I mean, you guys really, I thought, played a complete game. Offense, defense, special teams. I just thought it was a real good performance by the Bears.
Oh, yeah, we just played together and really helped us out get that win. Got to give a lot of thanks to the D-line, as always. Getting that pressure helps us make plays on the back end. So
true, yeah. Tommy Dunn. So Tommy Dunn, you're sharing the award with him. Is that what you're doing?
Of course, yeah. Got to. Have to.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, you played a lot of football. You played as a freshman, started the rest of the game, every game you played in. Where's the difference that you're seeing on the defensive side? We're seeing it. What are you guys feeling on the difference on the defensive side of the football through these first 3 games?
I think it's just we're a lot more energetic and just playing as one, playing as a unit. Just playing together, coming together every week, having a great week of practice. That's really important. That preparation that we have, it's been different. So I think that's what's carried us to get these wins this season.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing. I don't know. You see the same thing from the press box. You guys are putting pressure on a lot of quarterbacks, right? I mean, your defensive linemen are getting after it, pinning their ears back, getting after opposing quarterbacks, a lot of stunting, a lot of twisting, a lot of different looks you're giving offensive lines. And I think that's in large part why you guys have been so successful.
And I think I'll add one thing to that. We haven't let up a lot of explosive plays at the wrong times.
Exactly, yeah. Limiting those explosive plays is a big emphasis we put on this year. And, of course, the D-line getting a lot of pressure allows us to make those plays on the back end, making interceptions, and then be able to get cover sacks when we cover well back there.
James, everybody knows how important the position that you play is. It's the most important position on the field, quarterback. And you've played 2 outstanding games, and not coincidentally, the Bears won both of them against Georgetown and against Rhode Island.
Thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of credit to the O-line, to my receivers. They've been playing out of their minds. And then life's a lot easier when you got running backs like Matt Childs and Jackson Bennett, Quentin Brown, Elijah Jones back there. Guys that are just playmakers anytime they touch the ball.
But your decision-making, I thought the other night was fantastic. Like, you knew when to run it, you knew when to throw it, you knew when to live to see another down. Like, you didn't put the ball in harm's way, right? No turnovers, a couple of touchdown passes. I thought you were very much in control of your game Friday night.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with the preparation that led up to it. I got to give credit to my quarterback coach, Coach Jonke. He has got us prepared on a whole nother level. And again, that's due to Coach Perry and his just intelligence and the way he communicates with us in the quarterback room. But I think Coach Jonke's done a terrific job of just helping me break down defenses early in the week, and so I can make good decisions in practice, and then that translates to the game.
There was one play, and I was wondering what you were doing. It was kind of in the first half. You were looking at the sidelines around the 50, and I know Coach was trying to call something, and then you weren't sure what he was calling, and then you were kind of pushing back off. What were you guys doing in that moment? I saw you show some confidence there, like, Coach, I got this.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that play was at the end of the half, and we were doing our sugar huddle like we sometimes do, and Coach was just saying, don't run a play, but I went into the huddle, and I was just going to talk to the guys and kind of give them some confidence. I'm not sure Coach thought maybe that I was going to call a play, but I was just like, Coach, I got this one. I just want to talk to my guys and make sure we know what we're doing here, and played a great first half, so take it into the second half, and let's go out and continue that.
Elias, you talked about, John talked about how you played a lot of football in your 4 years here. And not that you haven't been a huge contributor before this season, but was there any thought process in your own mind, hey, we're losing one of the all-time greats in Brown football history to graduation in Isaiah Reed. Somebody's got to kind of fill that role. I mean, did you think about that at all, like this offseason, or?
Yeah, a little bit. He was definitely a huge contribution to our team, a huge player for us, and I think just the way that he was a leader these past few years and be able to prepare us, all the corners that were under him was huge for us, and the reason why we're all able to step up now and make plays and be successful.
What's it been like learning a new system? I mean, this defense isn't the same that we ran last year, right? It's a different scheme, different coaching. Was that an adjustment period for you, or how did it go in the spring and this summer?
It was definitely a big adjustment for me. Also in the spring I ran track, so I wasn't able to be there as much as I should have was able to for them. But that transition was a little rough at first, but we really attacked it very well by having a lot of Zooms over the summer because we're not all obviously together as one. So having those Zooms as a defense, as a position group, definitely helped us prepare and be ready for the season.
Murph, let me ask you. Now you're a sophomore, first-year starter. Last year you saw a little bit of action maybe at the end of the season. What did you do as you prepared yourself going into your sophomore year to be the leader of the team? Obviously, Georgetown, you're going to get experience every week. Great game. Harvard, not so great of a game for the team. And now, you guys came out and did a great job at URI. You're the leader. As you said, you're running the guys on the offense. What have you done as you're preparing into your your rookie season here as the starter and the leader of this offense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of that preparation came in the first 2 years that I was here, learning and picking up on things that were kind of foreign to me, like how to travel, how to prepare the guys. And I was fortunate to learn under an incredible leader, an incredible player, Jake Wilcox, who's still a very close friend of mine. We talk often, and I thought he did an unbelievable job these past 2 years leading this team. And just like doing things the right way and getting guys prepared to go out there and battle. So learning from him and learning from other older leaders like Wes Rocket and Mark Mahoney and Nate Lucier, just picking up on things that they did and then trying to do it in my own way, trying to make sure the offensive line's in the right headspace and that the receivers are playing pissed off and that the running backs are running really hard. So I think just trying to pick everybody up through my words, but also at the end of the day, it's not so much. Talk is cheap, right? Talk is very cheap. So you got to go out and do it with your actions. So just working hard over the summer, running around everywhere on the field, and just showing those guys with my actions that this is how we do things around here.
Murph, if I can get you to comment on two things, and you brought up one already, the play of your offensive line. I don't know if there's a position on the team that maybe took more of a hit this offseason than O-line in terms of graduation, transfer, and other things, right? So there's a lot of turnover up front, number one. Talk about the fact that those guys have stepped in and the job they've done. And then in terms of the passing game, you got a lot of good targets to throw to, right? I mean, it's not just your receiving core. You've got running backs that can catch the ball in open space and do something special with it. You've got two tight ends, not one, that can get it done in Levi and Dillon. Just talk about the weapons and the offensive line.
Yeah, so to start with the O-line, I think one of the most unique things about Brown football is that we play like 10 guys on the offensive line, right? I'm sure you guys noticed that, and that's very unique in college football, and I think that speaks to the depth that we have and the type of players we have in that room, right? So I'll go out for a drive and start with Mark Banbury as my center, and then the next drive I'll have Sam Brackney or Nick Manley come in. And I'm proud to say that I have just as much confidence in Mark as I do in the other two guys, right? And so I just think that speaks to the depth that we have, the recruiting and the coaching done by Coach Morrissey and Coach Perry, which is incredible, and the confidence that they have in that room to be able to say, hey, we're not going to play 5 guys, we're going to play 10 guys, and we're going to do the same thing every time. We're going to run the ball down your throat. We're going to be in better shape than you, and I think that just is such a great and unique thing about this program.
Did that tempo wear down Rhode Island a little bit in the second half? When you guys started to step on the gas pedal a little bit, you started to pick up some big chunk plays there.
Yeah, I think that was one thing we talked about all week is kind of getting that first down and getting things rolling. And once we did that, it was hard. That first down's hard. That's a very talented team. But once we did that, we were kind of able to get in our groove and start to play fast like we do. And then after that, I thought by the time we were down the 15th, 16th play of the drive, I think we were ultimately just in better shape and were able to kind of physically dominate them up front.
Comment to me on the mental side of it. We, as a team, in the past, have always played kind of from behind. We never scored much in the first quarter throughout the season. We always, if we were coming back, Scott and I have called a lot of games, it was always a second half, third quarter team. We'd start coming back into a football game, pull off a win. This year, it seems we're coming out of the box. Boom, we're right on it. We're taking the lead in the first quarter. We're starting to play from ahead. Follow me, and then we're able to keep the lead and learn how to win. So we're talking about that on the offensive side, and then you comment on the defense for me.
Yeah. So this past week, we started the game on defense, and then my man Elias here got an incredible pick for us and put us in the red zone to start, right? And we were able to go up 7-0, and then they got another stop and got us the ball back, and we were able to go up 14-0. And I think that is huge in a game like that. Like all the momentum was on our side. And then we can start to play our type of game, and we can play fast and we can play physical. But I think it all starts, just like you said, starting off fast. And Elias and the defense did a terrific job of getting us the ball and allowing us in a position to score.
And, on the defensive side, I think it's just really taking it one drive at a time and not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves. That's really important, just trying to get one stop every time we get out there and face any adversity that we do come across. Any sudden changes, any adversity that we haven't encountered during the game. We've really put focus on being able to handle that and be able to bounce back and be able to put the ball back in the offensive hands.
Let me ask you guys, as we head to Bryant now, each season we played in the last 3 games, it's been 1 possession or 3 points, very, very tight games. As Coach said earlier, very, very good football teams. How are we different than the past to start to string together wins? Follow me? We've watched the team, we go up, we go down.
2 years ago, the 5-5 season was win one, lose one, right? Win one, lose one. So how do you not embrace success too much, what you did last week, put that behind you, and get ready for tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think that's an unbelievable point. I think we have to start being able to string things together, and that was a big emphasis in the off season, and now it's an even bigger emphasis now, right? We've talked a lot about this being like a culture game for us right now. We just came off a big win. How can we respond to that by going out and playing our next game? We can't do what we did last year after we beat Harvard. That was a big game, big win, and then come out the next game and come out kind of flat and not play our brand of football. So I thought John Purdue, our other captain, did a really, really good job of kind of attacking that head on and saying, hey, guys, this is a culture week for us. Are we going to be the team that gets the big win and then kind of goes back down and hides in a cave, or are we going to get that big win and then come out the next week and play even better? So I think that's our challenge tomorrow.
Elias, this is it for you. Senior year, what's your concentration, and do you even know what you want to do when you get out of here in May?
Concentrating in business economics. Definitely want to get into finance. So far, I have a job lined up with Bank of America. So
congratulations. Is it in Charlotte or where?
New York.
New York?
Yes.
Did you have an internship for them already, or have you had any summer internships that kind of helped lead to this?
I had an internship this past summer with Bank of America, so I got the return offer, and it was a great experience. I love it.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
congratulations.
I know you're concentrating only on tomorrow night in Bryant, but I'm just curious, when it's all over with, what are you going to miss most about your Brown experience?
It's got to be just seeing my brothers every day, just seeing them in the locker room, be able to compete with them on the field. It's something that you can't get once you graduate, once you're done playing ball. So I'm definitely trying to cherish that as much as possible and try and win a championship with my guys, because that's the end goal for sure.
All right, guys, congratulations on the win Friday night. Good luck tomorrow night at Bryant, and thank you for joining us on the show.
Good luck, guys, tomorrow night.
Thank you both. Appreciate it.
All right, James Murphy and Elias Archie with us here on the Brown Bears Football Report with James Perry. I want to thank them for joining us. John, I want to thank you as well, because when we come back, we're going to be joined by some members of the Brown men's soccer team. They've got a big game on Saturday as they continue to try to stay in the top half of the Ivy League and make their way back to the Ivy tournament where they have been the last 2 years. We'll talk with some members of the Brown men's soccer team when we come back right after this.
For well over a century, the men and women...
Hey girl. Hey, how are you? Good, how are you? Good, thank you. I'm glad I ran into you. I'm looking to switch banks and I know you're with Bakehouse. How do you like it? Bakehouse has everything I need. I just opened a free checking account. No monthly service fees, no transaction fees. It's great. So is the customer service. Staff members really take the time to understand my personal financial needs. The best part? Bakehouse treats you like family. Isn't that right, Penny? Looks like I'm switching to Bakehouse Bank.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Beisel. As a 3-time Olympic swimmer, I know how important it is to take care of your health. Here in Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts, we are fortunate to have the team at University Orthopedics taking care of us for all of our orthopedic needs. Whether you are swimming laps or swimming to raise money to cure cancer, their team has you covered. Remember, you don't have to be an Olympic athlete to be cared for like one. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here, University Orthopedics.
We are the change makers, the rebels, the champions. To be a bear is to possess brains and brawn. To be a bear is to have an insatiable hunger to win, in sports and in life. We are indomitable, unshakable, and unstoppable. We don't just play the game, we change it. Our style is not for everyone. We buck the status quo, we push the boundaries, we think and play outside the box. We are innovators, trailblazers, and leaders. We take our work seriously with unparalleled focus, unmatched humility, and unequaled joy. We're an uplifting community that empowers self-discovery in a way that makes everyone better. All on a campus that exhibits an inspiring spirit of creativity and collaboration. We are the Brown Bears, ever reaching, ever curious, ever resilient, ever true. Together, we roar.
Being at an Ivy League school, it certainly is more than possible to be both an exceptional student as well as excel in the sport that you choose to pursue.
I get to sit in a classroom with wrestlers who go compete at a national level, hockey players who are making it to championships. To watch them succeed, at a national level, it's pretty incredible.
I don't think I would be where I'm at if I went anywhere else. It's been really fun for me to just challenge myself and make it to those events and perform and show people that Princeton is a good golf school and you can come here and have all your dreams come true.
Very fulfilling, very rewarding. I feel like you're at a world-class level in multiple fields.
All these schools have been around for a while. Just kind of getting to see Ivy League put it on a national stage is just very, very cool to me.
But now I think people are paying a lot more attention to what the Ivy League is capable of and putting some more respect on the league.
There's been a lot of success in the Ivy League, and the Ivy League is going to be on the big
The
stage.
Brown Bears football report with James Perry broadcasting live tonight from Track 15 here in downtown Providence. Scott Cordischi with you. Our final segment of the show brought to you by Coca-Cola, the perfect refreshment. Share a Coke this season. And right now we're happy to be joined by some members of our Brown men's soccer program. They've got a big game on Saturday hosting the Penn Quakers at Stevenson-Pinson's Field. And let's say hello to their head coach, Chase Wileman. Coach Wileman, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for bringing two of your student athletes with us. You have to your right, Jamin Gogo Peters. Jamin, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for joining us. And to my right, we have Langdon Gryglas. Landon, how you doing?
Doing well.
Well, thank you all for stopping by, and let's talk about it. So 5-3-1, 1-1 in Ivy play right now. Currently tied for fourth, right, with Yale, I believe, in the conference standings. But Coach, I mean, I've seen most of your games this year. I feel like the team's playing a pretty good brand of soccer. That was certainly the case going into league play. You lost to a tough Princeton team on the road. I know that, but you also beat the Dartmouth Big Green. Just give us your 30,000-foot view of what you've seen from your team to this point.
Yeah, I would say, really good so far. In a really good position in terms of all of our goals and the things that we want to accomplish are still very much, there. I'm not big on RPI or checking it, but last I heard we were in the top 40, which is really good.
Number 38, second highest RPI behind only Princeton in the league.
Yep. So very great position RPI wise, and then still, of course, Ivy League regular season and Ivy League championship still out there. So we have a lot of great opportunities, and this season has been a journey for sure. And that's how we like it. So it's not always just going to be, just trending up. You're going to have ups and downs, and you have to learn and grow. And so ultimately, we're in a good position with still everything to play for.
So Landon, when Coach talks about the ups and downs of a season, and it's been a journey. I was at your game against Providence, and I thought you guys played 89 terrific minutes of soccer, and unfortunately, they got that equalizer at the end of the game. And I could see how down you guys were after the game. But Coach Wileman is patting you guys on the back, saying, you guys played well tonight. We've got league play starting this weekend, so keep your heads up. Just talk to us a little bit about that, right? Because I know that was a draw that felt like a loss just because of when they scored their goal. But the bottom line is, big picture, you knew the team was playing well heading into league play.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a testament not only to, our mentality, but also our progress as a program since Jamin and I have been here. Playing Providence College is obviously a big cross-town rivalry. Now we've changed the mentality, flipped the script, whereas maybe in the past, maybe they were expected to win. We expect to win. We expect to win every game, whether it's home or away. And we bring that mentality to Ivy League games as well. Tough loss, like you mentioned, against Princeton, but looking forward to this weekend against Penn. Great opportunity, great opponent, and just another chance to get better.
Jamin, it's hard to believe you two are seniors. I can remember that was yesterday when you were freshmen, and for you, you had that unbelievable freshman campaign where you scored 7 goals. I think you were second-team All-Ivy as a frosh, and here you are in your final year. Couple of goals already. Congratulations against Holy Cross and UMass Lowell, but just talk to us about what this 4-year experience has been like for you.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely hasn't been straight up. It's obviously has some up and downs, and but I feel like throughout these 4 years, I've grown a lot as a person and as a player. And obviously, being a senior now, obviously taking everything in and making sure I enjoy the most of what I have so far, and enjoy the people around me, my teammates, obviously, hang out with them on the field, joking around, enjoying every little bit. But
Coach, as you headed into league play, it looked like you and your staff are maybe trying to find maybe the right combinations or right mix or right minutes for certain guys here and there. Is that kind of the time to do that non-conference, just kind of, figure things out, what works and what doesn't?
Yeah, I think it's always like a process through the season. So even now, everything we do is based on performance and training. So non-conference, early part of the season, you're trying to figure out, the combinations, but you're also in college soccer. It's a lot of games in a short amount of time. So, it's even crazy that we have 6 games left guaranteed, and then hopefully postseason. But it just goes so quick. So you try to manage the players. You try to, keep the squad as fit as possible and build them up through the season to make sure that at the end of the season we're playing our best. So it's but then also just as a coach and as a team, right, you try to evolve the team and what's going to be the best version of this group of players and this team as you go through the season. So maybe you come in with one idea, and then you're evolving constantly to try to tweak and what's going to make this group of players the best possible version of themselves. So it's if anyone ever says that they're like very set on this is exactly who's going to play and this is how we're going to play, like I think it changes all the time, and especially in a short season, 3 months, it goes really quick. So you're always tweaking and evolving and of what's the best version of this team.
And Landon, maybe a big reason for that is because I think the depth you guys have, right? I think you've got depth across the board at all positions, and a good example would be what we see between the pipes. I mean, Max Fafnan's been terrific as of late, but, he replaced a guy, Henrik Viper, who's also pretty darn talented as well. So, I mean, there are options, and there's a lot of depth on this roster.
Yeah, and I think it is a mix between older, experienced guys. We have seniors, juniors that have seen big minutes in big games. But we'd also do have younger guys. We have Mateo, we have Max, we have our freshman and sophomore classes that are really pulling a lot of weight. Really proud of those guys, and as they continue to develop, I only see positive things in their future.
Yeah. Jamin, gigantic game on Saturday, not to overplay it or overstate it. Every game I know is the same for you guys, but, you've got the defending Ivy League champions. They ran the table in league play last year, Penn, at 7-0. They're 1-0-1 in league play coming in, but they were picked as the preseason favorites. And I think more importantly, and you know this better than anyone, you guys have had some wars with them. Yeah. When you go back to last year and the year before, whether it's regular season or in the Ivy League tournament, you've had some battles with the Quakers.
For sure. Coach mentioned earlier today that we played them 4 times in 2 years, and each time has been a battle. And obviously going in to the game this weekend, the result against Princeton wasn't the best, and we used that as motivation. And this past week, we've been working really hard as a team, growing together and really focusing on what we can do to get a good result.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going back to last year. So they won 2-0 down in Philly, and then 2-1 in overtime in the Ivy tournament. In that game, though, you outshot them. 8-7 shots, 6-3 shots on goal. The year before, I think it was a 2-2 draw during the regular season. You win 3-2 on PKs in the Ivy tournament. To kind of emphasize your point, Chase, right? You've had some great matches against Penn.
Definitely, yeah. It's, at least in my time, it's kind of become like, a big rival between us two, just because we've played so much. And again, I think like Langdon said earlier, we kind of flipped the script to where now they know that it's a really tough game every time we play them. And, we also said today that Penn ended our season last year. So, if you don't have motivation to kind of write that, then, not sure what you play for. So they ended our season, so we're looking forward to the game on Saturday.
Langdon, it looks like they've got a goalkeeper that's doing a pretty good job of keeping the ball out of the back of the net. I don't know how much you guys spend watching film, watching a goalkeeper's tendency or watching your opponent's tendencies. Is it like football? I mean, do you spend that much time breaking down film, watching film of your opponents, or is that more coaches watching film and, okay, guy, here's the game plan?
Do you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I can jump in. I think we do our due diligence. We definitely make sure we know what the opponent is, what they're about, if they have talented players here and there, but at the end of the day, we have talented players too, and I like our chances. I mean, their keeper's a great player, but I also think we have attackers like Jamin who can go up and score goals on any given day. So I'm confident going into the match, but definitely something to watch out for.
Yeah, I would agree. We mainly focus on what we can do to sort of maybe break them down or maybe get a good result. We don't really, when we do sort of film or scout, we don't really focus too much on maybe how like the rotations or like all these different things. We mainly focus on how we can maneuver ourselves and maneuver our game in order to be able to get the best result that we possibly can.
Coach, this is your 4th season here. Were these guys among your first recruiting class, or were they already committed to Brown? Like, how did that work?
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today. I mean, it's crazy that it's flown by so fast. But yeah, their class, the senior class, is the first class that has played 4 years. You know, for me and the staff. So I got the job in February, and Langdon was already committed.
He stuck with me.
To the program, and
you stuck with Brown, and thank you for that.
Absolutely. And you know, we honored the commitment, of course. And I knew Langdon actually before from my previous job. I'd seen him and had a couple of conversations with him as well. And then Jamin was literally my first recruiting trip at Brown. I flew out to San Francisco and watched him play. Him and Diego, who's a junior on the team now. Literally the first recruiting trip, and I mean that how quickly that happened.
Yeah.
Saw him in February, and then he was on the team in August.
Wow.
So happened very quickly.
Were you kind of a late bloomer, or did you have other offers? I mean, you're from Oregon, correct?
Yeah. I mean, not really. I obviously coming out of my senior year, I was looking to really like communicate with colleges. I was sending emails, but wasn't really getting much back due to like a prior injury I had that kept me out from playing. But thankfully, I got a text from the assistant coach at the time, and led me to here. I wasn't really talking to many other schools, and just decided to make a commitment. And obviously, I'm very proud of that commitment.
You two are both seniors. What are you concentrating in, and do you even know what's next after graduation?
Yeah, I'm concentrating in business economics. Yep. Also going for the entrepreneurship certificate. What's next after Brown? I'm keeping my options open. I do have a 5th year of eligibility since I was injured last year. But then beyond that, looking into the world of, asset and wealth management, something I'm really interested in. But yeah, just definitely taking it day by day and really enjoying my last 2 semesters.
I know everybody talks about Engine 9 and Professor Hazeltine, who is a legend, but when you said entrepreneurship, I was thinking about Professor Warshay's class. Have you taken that?
Actually, not with Professor Warshay, but with Professor Hamza Ansari.
Okay.
One of his proteges, as I understand. Fantastic. All those classes, really eye-opening and really insightful.
Yep. How about you, Jamin? What's your concentration and what's next?
Yeah, so I'm concentrating in psychology here, and after Brown, I mainly want to continue to play. I feel like that's my first and main focus. But after that, with psychology, maybe get more into sports psychology and get more into that domain, because obviously I do find psychology interesting, and I do think it's something that I can maybe pursue and, help other people with, but mainly, obviously, after Brown, I want to try and continue playing.
So when you say you want to continue to play and play professionally, I assume here, overseas, does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. I'll take whatever opportunity I get, and obviously I'll work with it, and I'll do my best and work as hard as I can to continue to get better as a player and as a person. So.
And in terms of drafts and signing players, how do these leagues work, like MLS and the league that RIFC is in? Like, are there regional drafts? In other words, like either where you're from geographically or where you played in college? Coach, I don't even know how that works.
It's very complicated because like Jamin, for example, he's tied to a MLS organization, Portland Timbers.
Okay.
So he grew up through the academy at Portland Timbers.
Okay.
So technically they have like his rights. So he still could be drafted in the MLS draft, which happens in January. They change it all the time, but I think it's in January.
Yep.
So he could be drafted, but then Portland has its rights, so then that team might have to pay Portland for him. So it's just it's very complicated. But if Portland decides that they don't want to sign him for whatever reason, then he's kind of free to go somewhere else.
Coach, I didn't mean to take their attention off of the task at hand, which is Saturday's game against the Quakers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean it's just reality, and ultimately we want guys who want to play at the next level and be pros, and obviously the focus is on Brown and doing your best for here, but we need guys, and we want guys that want to play at the next level.
Well, Langdon, Jamin, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your 4 years of great commitment and service to the Brown men's soccer program, and thank you for joining us on the show tonight. Good luck.
Thank you for having us.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
All right, the Bears will host the Penn Quakers 1 o'clock Saturday at Stevenson-Pinson's Field. Check it out. In fact, it's a soccer doubleheader. The women's soccer team will be in action. Following that at 4:30, I believe it's the Dartmouth Big Green will be coming to town for that one. So a soccer doubleheader Saturday at Stevenson-Pinson's Field in the Center for Lacrosse in Soccer. And that'll do it for this edition of the Brown Bears Football Report with James Perry. My thanks to Coach Perry. Also, thanks to the Brown football players, Brown soccer players, Coach Wileman for joining us. My name is Scott Cordischi. Have a great weekend, everybody.